Hi guys, I'm Ben. This is Silas. And Silas likes attention, as you can see. For those of you who don't know me or don't remember me, I used to be called Fat Preacher Man. I am still Fat Preacher Man. I still preach and I'm still fat. And I thought I would just start talking to you guys again, sharing things. I've been trying to write. Yes, that's you up there, buddy. Dealing with a back injury. Been dealing with a back injury. Working on workman's compensation, which is, you think that people exaggerate when they say that they don't want to pay and they don't want to help you, but it's not an exaggeration. They want to do the bare minimum. They don't want to do anything if they don't have to do it. They don't want to give you anything they don't have to give you, and it's really not helpful at all. So when you go to work lifting things, doing things, I was working for PetSmart as a inventory manager and hurt my back. So be careful, guys, when you're lifting things, and use any and all safety equipment they have. Yeah, so he likes attention. I'll be trying to write here on the computer, and he'll come up and climb on me and want to be petted. And if I have the computer open, like one time I was writing a story and he decided to add to it and climbed across the keyboard, and I came back and there was a whole bunch of threes and some other things added to it. I've always liked to write, always liked to tell stories. So even if you go through my videos on Fat Preacher Man on my channel on YouTube, you can find a poem that I wrote for Nicole. And if you go on, I have a new page on Facebook that's for my writing. It's called Ben Underwood Sr. Writer. It's my author page, and it has some little snippets from some of the writing I'm doing, some short stories. I'm working on a novel, several short stories. I've done some poems, and some things like that. So if you guys go there, I'd love to hear feedback about that, what you think, and things like that. I'm also a grandpa now, so it's aside from being a husband and a father, I am a grandpa. So that's interesting. I had gotten a car and it just died, and that's a story I'm going to share with you guys today. It was interesting. We had gotten this 2000 Pontiac. So at the storytelling now, it was an 18-year-old vehicle. And, it was just really a stopgap measure because we couldn't afford a newer car. So we got the car to help us, get around, help my son and my daughters and my wife and I get around, because we couldn't afford a newer car. And we just kept putting money into it, and finally it just got to the point where it just didn't make any sense to keep putting money into it. So it was like, okay, well, we're going to try to switch that money we keep pouring into it into getting a newer used car, one in better shape, one that makes sense. And when I contacted people about, oh, how much can you give me for this? You see those things, those advertisements. We'll pay you for your car. We'll pay you for your car. Only thing I could find was people who wanted to take it for a donation. So all I could find was people who wanted to take the car for a donation. And the place that we found is called Heritage for the Blind. So that sounds great, right? Yay! Gonna do a good thing. Give the car to people that helps the blind. That sounds great. Okay. So they say, well, we're going to contact a third-party company, and they will set up a towing service to come out to get the vehicle from you. And, we're going to send you this paperwork via email. And when they come, they're going to need to fill it out. I should have the paperwork somewhere. Do I have it? Yeah, I have it somewhere. Anyway, they'll fill it out. And the section they need to fill out is literally a little box like this. Their driver's license, their information. And on the top it says donation receipt form, and then I put my information on the side, and it already has like several lines of pre-printed information about my vehicle and me and stuff like that, so that I have proof that I turned over my title and my vehicle to these people, because I have to give them not only my car, my entire car, by the way, which aside from it not turning over, and that was the only problem, the engine wouldn't turn over. The wheels were fine, the body was actually in pretty good shape. All the seats were there. It just, I think it's either the starter or the alternator died, but it just, you go to turn and start it, and it was like kink, kink, kink. And I felt really bad not investing more money in it, but I just couldn't. So, and I told him this. So, I was like, okay, so I pre-printed this form, and it's supposed to show up this Friday that passed. And this Friday that passed, I don't know when I'm going to be able to publish this, but was when we had this huge windstorm. And so the guy had called me before, and he's like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to make it out at 6 when my boss scheduled me. Can I come there at 7:30? So I had already pre-planned my day for him to be here at 6. But I was like, you know what? Okay, sure. 7:30 it is. 7:30 comes and goes, he's not here. 10:30 comes and goes. 12:30, 1 o'clock comes and goes, not here. Doesn't even bother to call me. So I'm a little upset. I call the Heritage for the Blind. I leave them a message. Try calling the number they gave me for this guy 3 different times, can't get through. First time I call, get a voicemail that's full. Second time it bounces. Third time it won't even ring. The next day he calls me, says, oh, I couldn't come, can I come today? Okay, whatever, I'm gonna let it roll. I'm gonna let you come, I'll give you the car, I'll be there now. So he shows up. Now mind you, I told Heritage for the Blind, my car does not start. I tried jumping it, I tried everything. I'm not a super mechanical type of guy, but I'm relatively intelligent. So I know what a dead battery is like. I've had a dead battery. I know what happens when you jump start a car. What should happen. I know that this car doesn't, I tried jump starting. So we go out there, and guy's out there, and he doesn't bring a tow truck. Him and his friend bring like a SUV with a little trailer hitch on the back that you're supposed to drive the car up onto. And so, first of all, I see this, and that's confusing to me. And second of all, the guy, you know, he looks like he's just wearing a little work road vest by the side of the road. And, you know, so I'm like, hi, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And so we start going through this thing. And so I show him my paperwork, and he shows me his, and he has like these things from Virginia that he wants me to fill out about turning the vehicle over. I said, okay, that's no problem. I said, well, this is what, you know, they said I need you to fill out for me. And he looks at my paperwork like, you know, I'm from the moon. And basically, he almost kind of tells me right then that he's not going to do it, but he didn't quite say it that way. And he talks to his friend in Spanish. And then he looks back at me and he says, well, you know, I work for this company, and this, that, and the other, and this is my paperwork right here. I said, okay, yeah, but you know, I'm giving you my car, I'm giving you the title with all my information on it, and you're taking the vehicle away. I just need proof that I gave you this, and proof so I have my tax information, you know, so I'm going to need you to fill something out, and I'm going to make copies of everything. He said, oh, okay. And he says, you know, well, can the car be started? I said, no, it can't. That's what I told them on the phone. Well, did you try jumping it? Yeah, I did. So I started going through this whole process trying to explain to him. He said, well, do you have the keys? I said, yes, I have the keys. It's my car. And so I give them the keys, and they try to jump it. They go and they get this little, like, battery-powered kit that you hook up to the battery to give it some juice. They try hooking it up, try to give it some juice, try to jump. I'm like, okay, sure, you do that. And it's the same exact thing. Doesn't start. And while they're doing that, he hands me his paperwork. I fill out all this paperwork, and then again, I'm filling out like 3 sheets worth of paperwork for this dude, and all I want is one little box. Like 6 lines. I swear to you, 6 lines. And so when it comes to his turn to fill out paperwork, he calls his friend over and he's like, no, I'm not going to do that. My friends, you know, I am a preacher, I'm a pastor, I'm a Christian man, but I lost my temper and I cursed at him. I said, this is BS. I didn't say BS, so I said the bad thing. And I apologize for that now, but I said, you're going to have to go because I'm not giving you my car. Give me my keys. He said, well, and I said, yeah, you're going to have to get out of here because I'm not giving you my car and all my information, and you can't even fill this out. I said, what proof will I have that you took my vehicle? I have nothing. I said, I can't believe you. This is why I work for these people. I said, okay, but you don't work for yourself. You are contracted by Heritage for the Blind through this to do this. They're getting a kick. You know, you're sharing the profit of this car. So they need something, I need something, how do you think this works? I'm sure your boss explained this to you. It's not my fault you weren't listening, that you don't understand how this works. Give me my stuff. And I was very upset to say the least. I came inside, my heart was palpitating, and I'm a big guy anyway, so probably wasn't very healthy for me. But my day was my day. Anyway, so I contacted them today because Heritage for the Blind was closed over the weekend, and today's Monday. Contacted them, said, hey, want to do the nice thing. I want to give you guys this car, but I am not going to go through that company again. If you try to send them out again, I will find some other way to get rid of this vehicle. I will not give it to them. So please send somebody else out. Can you do that? They said, sure, Mr. Underwood, we'll find somewhere else. So that was that. That was the story I wanted to share with you today. Again, so my name is Ben Underwood Sr. I am an author. I am a writer, trying to be anyway. I've written things since I was little. I've really always enjoyed it. I'm going to start doing things about writing. At least what I think, what I've learned over the years about writing, and what has helped me, what I'm learning about writing. For example, Stephen King, one of my favorite authors. And even though I'm a Christian, and he doesn't always write kindly about Christians, some of what he writes is true. Because not all people who claim to be Christians are. And they make us look really bad because, they are nutcases. They are hateful. They are spiteful. They are mean. And so the way that they hurt people, the way that they do things, yeah. So that's truthful. But the way that he tells stories, the way that he brings things to life, the way that he connects his worlds, it's really powerful and it's fun. So he has this memoir, and it's really fun to read, and I actually got the audiobook version of it, and I was listening to it when I was on my way back and forth to work, because when I was working, I was commuting 45 to an hour and a half back to work, back and forth to work, and it was really cool to hear him. He did the audiobook version of it. He read his own work, and he did it. Part of it before he got injured, because I don't know if you know much about Stephen King, but he, for those of you who know Misery, the story Misery, which was about a character named Paul Sheldon, who was an author. He was injured and captured by a crazed fan. Captured by a crazed fan, and then nursed back to health, and then forced to write a story, and then he had to escape with his life. Sorry if I spoil that. Maybe I should put a spoiler there at the beginning. But in real life, after he wrote that, this drunk idiot, Stephen King, liked to go for walks to clear his mind, to get some fresh air. And he's walking down the highway, and this drunk idiot comes careening over the road, and Stephen is walking facing the opposite direction. And this drunk idiot comes over the road and just smashes into him and nearly kills him. And he had written I think he said half of the book, half of the memoir before, and then he finished it after. And it was really hard for him to get back to writing it. But he talks about his life beforehand. And if you're ever into his works, if you ever read any of his stuff, or even his movies like It, it's interesting to hear about some of his life and some of the parallels of his characters, and some of his ideas about writing and the things that he has learned about writing, because he was actually a teacher and stuff like that. So it's really cool, and it's helped me, I think, as I tell my stories, because I'm writing. I like to write fiction, write a little bit of poetry. I've tried writing a little bit of nonfiction. I wrote an article for an online zine magazine thing. I don't know if I'll do that again, but it wasn't bad. I don't know if that's my thing. I really enjoy fiction, telling stories. I've done that since I was little. Me and my brother made our own comics, telling stories and making the artwork and stuff like that. And we would also play Dungeons and Dragons, and we played Vampire the Masquerade and things like that, where you would tell the story and build this world and have these characters that would populate it, and it was just really cool. So that's what I want to do, and that's what I want to also not only do that, but I'd like to help build that community into my Fat Preacher Man page, where I'm going to have one of my playlists build where I talk about what I'm doing there. So if you have questions, comments, ideas, things you'd like to share, things that might help you, you do that. So I mentioned earlier that I am a grandpa, and I'm also in physical therapy for my back. And when I mention that I'm a grandpa to some people, they say, "Oh, I don't know if you can tell, I do have a few grays." Some people say, "Oh, wow, you look like you're a young grandpa." And I don't know if that's true, but anybody watches this, if you can guess my age or the closest approximation thereof, in the next month, whoever guesses the closest or guesses it and then includes in their comment the topic they'd like for the next video, whatever it is, I don't care. I'll discuss it in the next video. And I'm not afraid of any topic, so I will leave the topic up to you, because I'm going to prove that. I don't care what the topic is, and just because I'm a Christian pastor, I want to prove that I'm not afraid of any topics. Because just because we're Christians doesn't mean we shouldn't be able to talk about things and discuss things openly and honestly. God isn't afraid of things. God isn't afraid of us talking and discussing things and being honest and open with each other and coming to an understanding and working things out, loving one another. So, again, I'm Fat Preacher Man. I'm Ben Underwood Sr. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm a grandfather. I'm a child of God. I'm a writer. I'm a dreamer. I'm me. So, I'm glad to be back talking to you guys, making videos again. If you have any questions, comments, ideas, hit me up below. See you on Facebook, Twitter. Talk to you later. Bye. Say bye-bye, Silas. Say bye-bye, Silas.